It's about time that I made a video to let y'all know when I decided to straighten up, take my responsibilities in my own hands, and grow up quickly before I find myself very hurt and in harm's way. And believe it or not, some people learn at different times compared to others. Some people learn before they get incarcerated. Some people learn during their incarceration, or they may learn afterwards. For me, I was one of the ones that learned while I was incarcerated. Said, you know what? It's time for me to become a man. Time for me to stop, horse playing so much. Take shit seriously, because you never know when your life can end. Sit back and enjoy this video, and let's get right into it.
Haha, I'm the best. Finna be this way till I EOS. Take it how you want, nigga. Yeah, I'm a pro. Fuck around and bust your lot while you're at Vizzo. I hate to be this way, but I live for the moment. Waking up every day, show me an opponent. Shanks on deck, hitting bitches with locks. So much pool, I can even start you from the box. You don't wanna pay rent, got me bent. Got lax on deck, your money was well spent. Vultures on the prowl, so don't try testing. Step 2 comes violent, first steps finessing. You a hold down man? Suitcase this, my cell phone and my charger don't walk with a limp. Get it knocked off or missing, you gon' get it. Next time I see your ass, you gon' leave airlifted.
What's up, y'all? You already know, man. KFROG TV back in the building. Y'all go ahead and do me that solid favor, man. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe button, and also make sure you hit the notification bell so you can see it first. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Today, I'm going to let y'all know when I decided to change my life around and realize that I am a man, no longer a kid. I need to straighten up before it is too late, okay? This is what you call a horrific wake-up call, all right? Some people need to go through certain things, see certain things with their own 2 eyes, rather than just hearing stories, rather than just believing myths from word that done traveled around. Some people gotta sit back and realize it's time for a wake-up call and get their shit together. For me, it happened while I was in prison, okay? I'm gonna let y'all know the type of mindset I had when I was going to prison. I'm gonna let you know the type of shit that I was observing and seeing when I decided to take my own responsibilities in my own hands and decide to man up instead of playing around, acting like a kid, a teenager. It was time to get my shit together or I wasn't going to make it home. Now, of course, a lot of people grew up different than other people, Not saying that a lot of people here are different from me. Not saying that I'm different from a lot of y'all. But what I will say is it took me until I was in prison to realize I need a wake-up call, okay? I need to get my shit together if I want to have a long, successful life, all right? Now, don't get me wrong. Before I went to prison, before I even went to the juvenile detention center, before I even went to the programs, before I went to the county, all that, I was getting into shit in the streets violently, okay? Been in a lot of fights, gotten a lot of, drama, different shit like that. So I always knew how to carry my own, okay? I always knew at the end of the day I was going to stand up for myself, wasn't going to let nobody bitch me up, try me or rob me or anything like that. I would literally put my life on the line before I just lay down and let that happen. You feel me? Before, I surrender and retreat. No surrender, no retreat. That's what was really in my mindset when I was younger. So I used to stay in and out of programs, in and out of the detention center, be in the detention center, getting fights while I'm in the detention center, get put in alternative schools, getting fights while I'm in alternative schools, skipping school, getting picked up by truancy officers, getting put in the JIF, jack, whatever y'all call it where you're from. I've been through all that. You know what I'm saying? Now, when I finally landed in prison, I thought I had it all figured out. You feel me? I thought, you know what? I know how to carry my own. This shit ain't nothing new than the streets. You feel me? Which, that's kind of true. You feel me? It is no different than the streets. You can get anything you can get on the streets inside the chain gang. You know what I'm saying? But it's just a world within a world. You feel me? But at the same time, it was more like I knew I was going to stick up for myself if I had to, So I felt like, shit, I ain't worried about that. That's the least of my worries. In all reality, since you're so used to sticking up for yourself anyways, you're used to getting in the shits, it isn't all about violent and that type of stuff when it comes to being a man, when it comes to having a wake-up call. It's when you finally sit back and you observe how dangerous of a place you are in, okay? When I went to prison, I thought that shit was a joke. You know what I'm saying? When I went there, I was like, man, I don't care where they send me, bro. I'm going to be me. And I still feel the same way because it's true. I'm not going to change the way I am, but I know how to respect certain boundaries within the system. You understand? Kind of like that K2 that people smoke in prison. You feel me? A lot of people don't respect that shit, and they just smoke it, and the next thing you know, they twack out and almost die. You know, they have bad experiences on it because they did not respect how powerful that tunchi is. So what I learned is, when I was in prison, I learned to respect the system. Okay? At the end of the day, I didn't look at it like I was just an inmate, you know? I'm a convict. You feel me? So I learned how to make my way, you know, around the system rather than, you know, make my time even more tougher. Which I did make my time tougher because I did a lot of confinement time for a lot of contraband and stupid shit like that. But what made me want to actually straighten up, and what made me man up and grow up more quickly on a patience level and on an observe level, instead of always being the first one or try to, you know, be 5 steps ahead, you know, like chestnut checkers. What made me want to do that was seeing the type of environment I was in. Before, when I went to juvenile programs and the county jail and shit like that, them type of places can become violent just as well. But the way I was carrying myself and the way that I was thinking and acting, that I never really sat back and paid attention to how violently it can get and how dangerous it can get. Because once you learn that, and once you decide to respect that, you will observe and pay attention and act totally different in the environment, because you know at any given minute it can crank. You see what I'm saying? So when I was in prison at first, when I first got there, I was on that dumb shit, you know, Friday night fights, you know, willing to gamble, willing to get into it with anybody. I didn't give a shit about it, because at the end of it all, I knew I was down to fight. You feel me? So you're like, shit, no matter what happens, no matter who tries me, whatever comes my way, as long as I know I'm willing to stand up for myself and fade, I know I'll be straight. You feel me? That's what a lot of people think, you know? But they fail to realize there's more than just fighting when it comes to a wake-up call. You see? So if you're like, oh, I grew up bumping on the streets, I'll make it through the chain gang, that ain't nothing. So many people make it through the chain gang that still didn't have a wake-up call, that still didn't man up in life. You feel what I'm saying? Now, when I finally landed at my first institution, like I said, I was on that dumb shit. They put me in G-dorm, gangland, you feel me? 24 and under, where we used to get in the shit. Every Friday night, we had Friday night fight nights. Put your ID inside the canteen bag and grid. Every day, you hear people bumping. This is the type of the shit that you got to get used to. You know, you live in there, you know? And after a while, since your time's going by and you're down to fight, you're not scared to fight, you think this is just normal. You feel me? But in reality, you know, it makes you think that this is what prison's like. This is my first time in prison. I don't know what to expect. You know, I guess this is what it's like. Shit, I'm adapting to it, so fuck it. You know? But every institution is different. So when I finally left Calhoun and I landed at Charlotte, it was a different ball game. People didn't want to all the time. No. People wanted to stab you, kill you, harm you, physically hurt you, put you in a hospital, make you take that helicopter ride. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, okay, just because I know how to fight, what good is that gonna do me here when people ain't lining that shit up head up? Instead, they're playing with knives, bangers, woos, pokers, razor blades, $1.50 in people. You know, it's like, all right, I'll adapt to this now, you feel me? Which I already played with knives and shit on the streets anyways. But the fact is, what made me realize, okay, Frog, slow your roll and just pay attention to what's going on around you. What made me realize that and wake up, that's what I used to think in my head, is sitting back and observing, to where I'm like, okay, here I'm at this dangerous ass camp, right? These ain't gonna really get me nowhere. You know what I'm saying? You can know how to throw these, and then you got 6 people coming up to you with knives this big, you know, that if you make one slight move as they're trying to rob you, they're gonna kill you. They're gonna stab the shit out of you and you could die. You feel me? So it's kind of like, let me sit back and observe, and let me pay attention, and let me wake up and realize the type of situation that I am in. Okay? Then you got to sit back and you think about it. Damn, I may never see my kids again. I may never see my family again. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to die in here. I'm just going to be another statistic. Nobody on the streets is going to even know I died right away. It's just going to travel word of mouth. So there's really nothing you can do, you know, other than pay attention. But the one thing that made me really decide to, okay, I'm going to stop being such a knucklehead, such retarded with it and everything, and always on that dumb goofy shit, you know, play fighting, you feel me, down to fade, down to stab somebody for no reason. Oh yeah, let's go do it, y'all boys, and we grab knives and go over there. What made me want to change all that was one day I was sitting inside of the, like where the classification is. But when you go in there, it's the medical building. So when you go in the medical building at Charlotte, if you've been there before, you know this is facts. When you walk inside the medical building, you know, you got the officer station, and then you got where everybody sits, all the inmates. Well, on the right side is where classification is. On the left side is where the actual medical, like the nurses and stuff are. So it's the same waiting room. Well, I was sitting at Charlotte one day, inside of that, you know, waiting room, waiting to go to classification, because I was kind of new to this camp. I ain't been here that long, and I've realized that people weren't really bumping right away. You feel me? It was more like stabbings. People were getting airlifted and hurt for real, for real. You feel me? Which it fit me because I was on that dumb shit, you know? But what really, really made me have a wake-up call and realize, slow my roll before it was too late, is while I was sitting there in that lobby like this, not to mention, I've told y'all plenty of times before when I first got to Charlotte what it looked like. When I first walked on the compound, they had trails of blood leading to medical that looked like rust, looked like drops of rust everywhere. That was blood from how many people been stabbed and was leaking and got brought to medical after they got wet up by somebody. Now, so I already knew people got wet up all the time. I already heard stories about Charlotte. I knew people from my neighborhood that was actually at Charlotte while I was on the streets, but when I landed there, they weren't there no more. But while I was sitting inside of the medical right here, waiting like this, waiting to be, you know, called from classification and shit, sitting there like this, someone comes in, you feel me, gushing blood, leaking blood. Officers are running around crazy and everything like that. I see them all running back and forth with gloves. But one of the rules that they have while you're sitting in that waiting room like this is to face forward. So as you're sitting here facing forward, you know, you're looking at these glass windows, the TV that plays the same fucking commercial thing over and over and over again, advertisement. Behind you is the door where people come in at. They get stabbed, or where the guards come in and different shit like that. But you see other officers running back and forth and stuff. So as I'm sitting there, I can't really look back to observe, you know, what's going on. But I hear the commotion. I hear a bunch of people like going crazy about whatever is happening, right? So as I'm sitting there, I'm just waiting to see who it is that they bring by that got stabbed up or whatever it may be. I realized that it wasn't even an inmate. It was a guard. A guard got stabbed up. So that right there was my main wake-up call. Because if you think about it, I'm sitting there, had nothing but time to think, because it's like sitting at the DMV while you're sitting there waiting to get called for classification. You're just sitting in there watching the same old commercial over and over and over again. You know, and it's like nothing but on your mind but just thoughts. So as I'm sitting there and I'm realizing, this is a guard that just got stabbed up. All these officers are running around crazy. This guard is leaking just as bad as any inmate that would get wet up would be. So in my mind, I'm like, damn, even guards get wet up. So that made me wake up and realize nobody can save you. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. You understand? That right there was what made me realize how dangerous prison really is. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can hear about officers getting wet up, hear about officers getting beat up, and it wasn't my first time, you know, like ever, you know, like being inside a medical and people coming in, because when you first get brought to an institution, you're going to have a lot of running around to do. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to go to medical, you're going to have to go to classification, you're going to have to go to ICT, you're going to have to go to the laundry, you're going to have to go to all these different places. You feel me? And it wasn't my first time seeing somebody on that pound get, you know, transported across the pound leaking, covered in blood. So by me sitting there and me already seeing what happens to inmates, and then it'd be a guard that got stabbed up that they rushed in the medical, and then they rushed him to outside medical. You feel me? He got put on a helicopter and got took it to a hospital that was off the pound. So by me seeing all that, really, really was a wake-up call for me. It made me realize that nobody can help you. Nobody can protect you. These guards are who's supposed to keep you in line. You feel me? They work for the system. They work for the state. You feel me? And it's like, they're not even safe. You understand? So you're getting, you know, bullied and told what to do by people who ain't even really in control fully themselves. You feel me? Because they're only in control until other people want to get out of line. Then when inmates decide to get out of line and they decide to stab whatever or whoever there's nothing a guard can really do other than be a victim as well. So when he was leaking and they brought him in there and shit, and the blood was everywhere, he was going, that's all he kept making, noises like that. They were opening the doors for him and everything like that, and they were walking in there, he was gushing, leaking, like you see inside of a movie, you feel me? And when I seen that, he had blood smears from his shoulder all along the wall, that he was walking all through the wall, medical. He was just leaking. That shit just looked like somebody grabbed one of them little bag juices you used to get in school and bit a hole in it and just squirted that shit behind him as he was walking. You feel me? And that right there was my wake-up call, y'all. That's what made me realize, don't take this prison shit as no joke. You get what I'm saying? And I found myself, making more non-serious situations into serious situations than I did not thinking it was serious and it turned out serious. So I was kind of like on beat after that. You know what I'm saying? I was kind of like prepared for anything, I didn't trust the guards. You feel me? Damn sure ain't trust the inmates. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, through it all you have is yourself, you know what I'm saying? And you got to get yourself to where you realize it's time to grow up. It's time to man up, take care of responsibilities. You did whatever you did to land in prison, whether you're innocent or not. Some type of way you came in running with the law. So all you can do is take that shit to the chin and do the time. Because regardless, you're doing the time. You feel me? And that right there, seeing that guard, as they were opening the doors and shit for him, as they ran him back there to hurry up and rush him outside the hospital somewhere, me seeing that happen to that officer was my number one wake-up call. That was one thing that I will always look back onto and remember. That right there made me be like, okay, now, this shit's no joke. This shit is a war zone. You know what I'm saying? And there's no way that I'm going to get caught slipping or caught off guard, because if a guard will get hit, I can damn sure get hit. You know what I'm saying? Because there's more consequences that come with hitting a guard. You know what I'm saying? And not only that, when the guard got wet up, the fucking inmate who did it didn't even get caught for it. So it's like, damn, there's people on this bitch that are smacking officers, like hitting them, pat, 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 stabbing them up, wetting them up, and then right back in the crowd, ducked off, right back to the rec yard or right back in the chow hall line. So I'm like, boy, we got some silent assassins in this fucking camp. You feel me? So that's what made me learn. Don't play around as much, Pay attention. Don't think everything's a joke. Don't think that this shit's weak. Don't ever think it can't happen to you. You feel me? Me seeing that's what literally made all these things come in my mind to where I'm like, damn, they hit the guard up, boy, and got away with it. And that right there was my wake-up call. I will always remember that. I will always remember that situation. Regardless of all the shit I've been in on the streets. I've been in shootouts on the streets. I've been in all types of shit. I've told y'all before, I got shot right here where I got no aim tatted. You can see the scar right here in between it. You see what I'm saying? Like, all that shit didn't make me a man. You get what I'm saying? That didn't make me learn what I needed to learn to make it through prison. You feel me? Because fighting and having guns, obviously, you're not going to have in prison. But fighting and all that violent shit isn't the only thing you need, you feel me, in order to consider yourself a man, you feel me, and be grown. You have to learn patience. You got to learn when to pick the right or wrong choices. You got to learn when it's time to play, when it's time not to. You got to learn when shit's serious, when shit's not serious. You have to sit there and actually beat yourself up in your mind to learn these things. You can't just do it overnight. You feel me? And old habits lead to old ways. So it's like when you first come in and you're young jit, you're wild, and you're used to being in fucking gangland, a little jit dorm where all we did was fight and terrorize shit and bet bags of coffee in the fighting and making people fight each other and shit like that and TOHing people. When you come from that, and you're kind of used to shit like that on the streets, that's what made you adapt to that in the first place. It's kind of hard to just straighten up. You get what I'm saying? It takes time to actually recuperate and then overcome that. You feel me? But sometimes it's got to be something you see with your own eyes, No matter how many people have done told you throughout the years, man, you need a wake-up call. You need to grow up. You need to take responsibilities for your actions. You need to think about your life and this and that. A lot of that shit goes in one ear and out the other. You feel me? Sometimes it takes you seeing something so serious with your own eyes to where you're like, bing, and it hits that switch that makes you want to do better. You feel me? Now, when that guard came in and he was gushing and leaking like that, and I seen that, it didn't make me like, oh, I want to change my life, and I'm going to turn around and I'm going to walk a straight line for the rest of my life. It didn't do that. But what it did is it made me realize prison isn't all play. You feel me? Like, yeah, once upon a time, I was part of the playful, violent groups, and I was in the mix with it. Now I'm at a whole nother institution. I got to be careful. There's other violent, playful groups. There's other just playful groups, and there's other groups that are just violent, no play. You feel me? That I could be one of them victims now. You see? And that's what I had to realize. You feel me? Because I fit right in at the first camp because I was with the stupid shit. Now I realize people ain't playing around at Charlotte, not even joking. You feel me? And even guards were getting wet. And that's what my wake-up call was. That right there is what made me feel like, all right, bro. Instead of me acting as wild as I was at my first camp, let me sit back and let me observe. Let me feel it out a little more. Because if a guard can't protect himself, he damn sure ain't finna protect you and all these other 1,000 inmates. You think about it. The person who's supposed to protect you can't even protect theirself. You feel me? And me seeing that with my own eyes made me realize it's me against the world in here. You feel me? And that's the type of thing that I needed. I needed to see that. You feel me? Because who knows what would have happened to me later on. You feel me? Who knows if I would have gotten to even more worse shit than I gotten into. You feel me? But it kind of made me like, you know, like it made me feel like just taking everything in and just putting it in a shell and just, you know, just sit back and observe, pay attention to everything that's going on. I'm not trying to make no new friends. I'm not trying to be your buddy. I'm not trying to fucking hang out with you. You know, we could be cool and say what up. We know each other because we bet on football games and stuff like that. And by me carrying myself like that, it's like I woke up and felt like somebody brand new. You feel me? Right after seeing that, I feel like the next day I just started carrying myself totally different than the way I would have been once I was known and everything, the way it would all came out, you know, like now that I see I'm really a knucklehead, I'm just playing quiet at first. You feel me? But that made me literally, bing, turn on the light bulb and made me literally want to act totally different. And the way I ended up acting and the way I ended up becoming after seeing that guard bleeding like that, that made a lot of people who I became cool with in there respect me. Made a lot of people have my back when I'm in situations and shit like that, because they felt like a lot of situations that I found myself in, I never started it. You feel me? They felt like Frog's always a cool dude. You feel me? Cool, calm, and collective. So if he's in some shit and he's hot and he's in the mix, somebody obviously did something to him for this to happen. And it's facts. You feel me? But they don't low-key know that the old me, I was different. You feel me? I was on that shit. I used to be the one that started it. I'd be the one that bring that pressure. I was ready to stab some shit. You feel me? Ready to hit somebody with a lock. You feel me? So it's like I had that in me. So if instead I just took a step back and let the problems come to me, and then I was with the shit like, thanks for the invitation. You feel me? But before, I was the one that was like bringing them invitations to your doorstep. You see? And it all was because I seen that guard. If I wouldn't have seen that guard, if I would have just heard about it on the compound, you feel me? Then I would have just, who cares? But me being inside that waiting room and seeing him, like he was just gushing and that boy was in serious pain, and me being new to the institution, that right there was a wake-up call. That's all I needed. You feel me? Now, I'm pretty sure people watching this video, whether you've been to prison or not, everybody knows when they decided it's time for me to straighten up. It's time for me to do this different. It's time for me to change my ways. You feel me? Drop it in the comment section, man. Let people know what your wake-up call was. It ain't got to be in prison. It ain't got to be in jail. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people who watch this channel, since it's a prison genre channel, a lot of people's might be while they were in jail, while they were in prison. You know what I'm saying? And I had a long road before I even went to prison. You feel me? And it took that one situation, that one incident, is what it took for me to finally realize I need to straighten up before it is too late. You know what I'm saying? And I've been through worser shit than that guard was in his own situation. But the fact by me seeing that, you know, it just made me realize, like, slow your roll, Frog. You know, at the end of the day, this is your house temporarily, you know what I'm saying? But really, you're just renting it. It belongs to other people, because some people ain't never getting out. Some people got longer bids than you. It don't matter if you got 2 years and they got 2 years and 5 days. That house belongs more to them than it does to you, because they're going to be there 5 days more than you. That's how I used to look at it in my mind. And then by me doing that, it made me learn a lot of things that I was missing as a person. You feel me? It made me better myself within, just by seeing that situation. Which, you know, I know he got the shit end of the stick, being the one that was all cut up and hurt like that. But he don't know it actually helped an inmate, you know, change the path of how his bid probably would have turned out. Then that's when I was like, I want to get on some money. I'm going to fall back. I'm trying to, you know, observe more shit, and I'm going to stay up under the radar. You feel me? My last camp, all the guards knew me, you know, and they was all like, KFROG, this and that. Oh, KFROG did it, put him under investigation. Like, they knew of me, you know what I'm saying? Which they eventually knew of me at my next camp too, of course. You feel me? KFROG, my name went everywhere. But it was more on, like, it was a respect level there. You see what I'm saying? And I don't think I would have got that same respect from as many people as I did if I would have came in on that knucklehead young buck, ready to rock and shit, you know what I'm saying, personality. So I'm kind of glad that I ended up seeing that type of situation with my own eyes, because like I said, bing, a light bulb went up on my head, and it made me feel like, wake up, frog, realize where you're at. If you ever want to get out and see your peoples again, wake up, pay attention, you know. And that shit just stuck with me, and I was like, boy, no matter what somebody tells me, whether it's a guard or an inmate, I seen that shit with my own eyes. So it's like, shit, guards will act like they're the hardest shit popping. No, because I seen one of their own kind wet. Inmates will act like, you know, at the end of the day, oh, they're scared of guards. Guards run this shit. At the end of the day, I seen one wet with my own eyes. See, so it's like, all I could do was take that into my own mind and use it as a piece of my puzzle, to where I knew, wake up, frog. Take this as a wake-up call. Don't think prison is that fucking playful. Don't think prison is just all fun and games. This is where you go to have fun, you know, because that's what I was on. I was on some shit like, okay, well, shit, they're going to have to kill me. You feel me? And I'm down to kill if I got to kill, so there's going to be two of us. It's either him or me. You know what I'm saying? Listening to that BG shit, kill or be killed. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm glad I seen that situation. So I wanted to share that with y'all and let y'all know the horrific wake-up call that I experienced inside of prison. That's what made me want to change the path to the way it was. And then if you think of it, if I didn't do that, then I wouldn't have been so serious about cell phones. If I wasn't so serious about cell phones, then I want to have my footage, KFROG TV, that make y'all know who I am today. You feel me? I wouldn't have been the first one in Florida to record his prison bid. You know what I'm saying? I would have still been on that dumb, stupid shit, and then any phone I came up on, I would have got from robbing or beating someone up or jumping somebody or anything like that, and then they would have came and gone, and I would eventually got tired of getting them knocked off by the guards. Every single time I get a phone and I get in trouble, I got to do time in the box, you know, I would have got tired of all that. But instead, no, I was like, you know what? Let's flip this shit around, man. Let's do the bid the way we want to do our bid. You see what I'm saying? But anyways, y'all, that's all I got for y'all today, man. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Y'all know that. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like, subscribe button, man. If you ain't hit it on the way in, hit it on the way out. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people, man, they, you know, people live a different lifestyle than I once lived. You know, a lot of people want me to change up my content. A lot of people want me to stick with it. You know, all I can really tell y'all, man, is at the end of the day, I'm going to keep doing this prison content because this is a prison channel. I don't fully rely on YouTube at all, you know. And, you know, eventually I'll start switching up and adding some shit with it. But I will always be talking about prison stuff. Because every single day, bing, something pops up of something I went through. It's like fucking never-ending stories, you know. You think about it. You spend so much time somewhere that the littlest thing will just trigger your memory and make you remember, oh man, I remember one time when it's fucking, you know, and then bam, I jot it down. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I try to make everybody happy, but I feel like at the end of the day, I can't, you know, because there's going to be people that want new stuff. There's going to be people that want prison stuff. And then if I do the new stuff, the people that did the prison stuff, they're all going to feel like I switched up. You know what I'm saying? Different shit like that. So I'm just going to keep it going how I'm going. And then Eventually I'll find my path and I'll just jump in and I'll switch it up a little bit, you know. But until then, you already know this, that real spill. It don't get more realer than this, you know what I'm saying? One thing about KFROG TV is I ain't never lied to y'all. I ain't gotta lie about nothing. This is all real shit. This is all what prison's really like. Shit that I experienced and seen with my own eyes. You feel me? That's facts. And a lot of these other prison channels, that's why I don't talk to none of them. There isn't one prison channel out there you can name that KFROG talks to. You see what I'm saying? That's how I feel. Fuck them all. You feel me? That's simple. That's just how I look at it. You know, because the ones that I did know, or the ones that I do know of, and ones I don't know, I guarantee you if I click on their shit, I'll see some bullshit. I guarantee you I'll see some little lying things they do. You feel me? But over here, you're going to get that real spill. That's why it's called real spill, because every single thing over here is facts. Anytime I use an item, it's the same item I had in prison. Same label, same company, same bag of chips, same fucking cheese squeeze, same soups. You feel me? Everything down to a T. That's why it's real spill. You get what I'm saying? It ain't like going to the dollar store and just buying a bunch of cheap shit saying this is what we made in prison. No. I go the extra mile when I do shit. You feel me? That's why I stay in my own lane, and that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, y'all, I appreciate y'all watching. Y'all drop in the comment section, man. Let everybody know when you fucking had your wake-up call. When you felt like, you know what? This is where I need to straighten my life up. This is where I need to pay more attention and take life more seriously before I don't have a life no more. Drop in the comment section, man, and let people know. You already know, man. Keep them rat squares, clowns, chomos, pedos, gunners, wannabe island boys, clout chasers all out your circle. Till next time, this the one and only. I am my team, Frog.